So after my first successful drive, one thing I noticed was the rear suspension was bottoming out. I didn't realize this, but the car already had bags installed. I thought maybe somebody just cut the springs. So that's, I guess, one positive. There's some work already done. I already went ahead and ordered some components, so hopefully I can get everything working. And then the second thing I noticed is the car, even though it drove, it felt significantly underpowered for what I expected out of the 248 straight 8 Buick engine. I struggled to make it up my driveway. Kind of stalled the engine a few times just trying to get it up. These engines are known to be torquey, and it just didn't quite feel right. So I dug in to see what was going on and found a little surprise. Well, that ain't good. So finally getting a chance to go through the engine, and unfortunately it looks like cylinder 1, the cam lobe is worn off. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So I got to figure out next steps here. I was hoping to have a good running engine, and for sure this engine needs to come out. I'm hoping I can maybe just replace the cam, but yeah, the cam lobe is completely worn out, and whoever owned this prior to the previous owner, the guy bought it from, only had it for a few months, and I trust him, but I think whoever sold it to him either knew or didn't know. But it looks like it's been welded and then ground, so somebody knew. We tried to do a repair, and yeah, it's unfortunate. You can see the valve is somewhat bent, and, or I should say the rocker push rod is somewhat bent, and unfortunate news. But it does have airbags, so at least some pros, some cons, but that's what life's all about, right? You gotta roll with the punches. So hard to tell what's really going on, but I suspect the cam lobe on the 1 cylinder is worn out. I don't know much about these engines, so I'm just going to learn. I'm probably going to pull this push rod out and kind of compare the length to this one. Maybe it's an issue with the push rod. It's definitely been welded and ground, so maybe it's shorter than it should be. Not really holding my breath on that, but there is at least a little bit of a lobe left on the cam. But yeah, that's probably gonna be my next thing to figure out, is whether the length of the push rod is correct. Maybe I get lucky. I'm trying to avoid taking apart the engine, but I know deep down I should. So yeah, joys of a project car. All right, so this is the trust me, I'm an engineer part. I'm not sure what's going on. I tried to pull the push rod out, I couldn't. But what I did do was essentially the adjuster arm. I put the nut on the bottom side, gave me a little bit more length, and I adjusted it. So I'm gonna crank it on and see if the lifter's fine. It's just a push rod, for whatever reason, is shorter than the other, but just kind of eyeballing it, I'm not sure, to be honest. I still suspect the cam lobe is worn, but at least that'll give me a little bit more life to kind of put it around before I figure out next steps. Let's see how it goes. I did a slow motion recording. You can see cylinder 1 is now firing. So my little hack job adjustment worked by moving the lock nut to the bottom side instead of the top side. And if you look at cylinder number 8, the cam lobe on, it's either the intake or the exhaust valve, is significantly worn. There's hardly any lift when you compare it to, the cylinders next to it. So definitely the cam needs to be replaced, and the engine needs to come out. Well, definitely sounds better, but I know she's hurting. Thanks for watching.